You know, that's the mentality of the loser. As David has tried to say to us this weekend, let's adopt the mentality of winners. I'll speak to anybody who'll hear me, and I'll associate with anybody I like because I'm a free man.
So you think you can beat me by outlawing my thoughts with your rogue politicians and the judges you bought? So you think you can mold me like I'm made out of clay? Oh, you want me to answer? Just got this to say. Take a look into this warrior's eyes. Tell me what you see. Take a look into this warrior's eyes. Oh, that still beats me.
This is Paul Fromm reporting for our people. I'm the Midnight Man on Stormfront Radio. I invite you to listen to me every night at midnight Eastern Time on Stormfront Radio. You can get it on the internet at www.stormfront.org. You don't even have to join up on Stormfront. You can click on the title page on Stormfront Radio and catch me every night at midnight. I'm the Midnight Man. Well, Canada ought to have a complete ban of all foods, all medicines, all vitamins, actually anything that you ingest into your body that comes from communist China. The state of health, the state of cleanliness, and the quality of food, vitamins, and other products that we tend to ingest when they come from China is deplorable. In fact, the first week of July saw a series of articles in the Globe and Mail outlining the shoddy, in fact criminal, lack of care the Red Chinese take for goods they send to us. You could literally be poisoned by the frozen fish that you got that came from China, by the apple concentrate that you drank from China, from the vitamin C pills that you took that came from China. Didn't know that? Didn't know that 2/3 of the vitamin C tablets in Canada come from China? You have to ask yourself why. We produce them in Canada. They produce them in the United States. Similarly, apple juice. We have a thriving apple industry in the Annapolis Valley of Nova Scotia, in and around the Niagara Peninsula in southern Ontario, in the lower mainland in the Okanagan Valley in British Columbia. Why are we importing apple concentrate, apple juice concentrate, from communist China? Oh yes, fish products. We have active fisheries. Why? I'd just like to read some of them. The main food imports from China. We annually import, believe it or not, almost $500 million in food import things from China. For instance, the biggest food import are, and this is 33.9 million kilograms. That's roughly 70 million pounds of mandarins, clementines, and citrus fruit hybrids. We import 24.4 million kilograms of frozen fish fillets. We import 21.7 million liters of apple juice. We import 10.5 million kilograms of raw peanuts, 10.4 million kilograms of frozen shrimp and prawns, 10.3 million kilograms of pasta. Pasta was something the Italians made. I know for a fact we make a lot of pasta here in Canada. Why are we importing it? 8.9 million kilograms of mushrooms and various other things as well. There's been a series of scandals of tainted foodstuffs, and tainted medicine. Here's a story about a person named Gary Leong. He's Chinese. Gary Leong is one of Canada's top health supplement experts, and he has a graphic demonstration of lax Chinese oversight in his food business on a factory inspection. The plant made chondroitin, a supplement used to relieve arthritis pain, from the tracheae of slaughtered cattle. Mr. Long was horrified to see piles of bovine body parts awaiting processing left in an open courtyard to be attacked by marauding dogs and wild animals. Mr. Long said, "You sit there and think that product is going to be manufactured into an ingredient that's going to be ingested by people." Mr. Long's company, Jameson Laboratories, a major Canadian vitamin and natural supplements distributor, made a gutsy call. To safeguard its customers, it won't source materials from China. That's what the Canadian government should do. No more imports of foods, vitamin supplements, or pharmaceuticals from China. Mr. Long, according to the Globe and Mail, frets that many Chinese companies have a total disregard for safety standards and view customers, quote, as someone you can make money off, not someone with whom you have a long-term relationship. As new revelations abound about loose standards in China, the safety of food and other nutritional products from that country is looming large. Just this week, the Chinese government said it closed 180 food manufacturers after a crackdown on those using industrial chemicals and additives. New worries also emerged over poisonous chemicals in Chinese-made toothpaste. So if you buy your toothpaste in a dollar store and it says made in China and it's got some Chinese writings, you may well be ingesting antifreeze. This follows the death sentence handed down in May on a man by the name of Zheng Xiaoyu, head of China's Food and Drug Administration, for approving untested medicines. Fake products sold during the officials' watch killed dozens. About 100 people died in Panama last year after taking cough syrup contaminated with diethylene glycol, a sweet-tasting poison used in antifreeze and brake fluid, and these products came from China. Then earlier this spring, there was the scare over melamine-contaminated pet food that killed or sickened thousands of cats and dogs in Canada and the United States. It was poisoned wheat gluten, imported from China to the United States, which was then shipped to some pet food manufacturing companies in Canada to make the kind of the goopy sauce in some of the cat and dog food that's marketed in cans. You may well ask, why are we importing wheat gluten from China? Last time I looked, Canada was one of the major producers of wheat in the world. Now sometimes it's a little more complicated, unfortunately, than just looking at the label to see, is it made in China? Under Canada's loosey-goosey policies that don't really protect the consumer, as long as a product is 51% Canadian in content, it can be labeled made in Canada. For instance, believe it or not, there are frozen strawberries that are labeled made in Canada. They don't come from Canada. They come from China. But because they are mixed with water so that they unfreeze, and the water constitutes more than 50% of the volume, they can be legitimately labeled made in Canada. So what do we need? Well, we need to protect the Canadian consumer. Number one, we should do what Japan did a few years ago when there was a scandal about a very, very small number of Canadian cattle that had mad cow disease. The Japanese took no chances with the health of their people. They set a complete ban on imports of Canadian beef until they were convinced we had our act together. What do we need? Well, we need a truth in packaging law that says that all the contents must be identified as to their source. Secondly, we need a complete ban on all food imports, pharmaceutical imports, or imports of anything that goes into your body that comes from China until we are convinced that their standards are first world. Because right now, it's a country riddled by filth and corruption. If you'd like to learn more about this and other immigration-related issues, contact me. Email me at paul@paulfromm.com.